Bani Suef Governorate is literally in the heart of Egypt, located in the valley region to be more specific, forming the main part of Central Egypt region, as an heiress to the ancient Bahnasa area. Situated around 120 kilometers south of Cairo, looking over the Nile flanking the two banks. Enjoying mild weather, little rainy in winter with nice windy spring and relatively hot day. Summer, however, they are relishing amazing breeze at night. Population, accordito the recent local governorate resources. Roughly 3.5 million inhabitants living in Bani Suef Governorate, this small density, qualifying them to be first-class touristic destination, yet currently most of population there work at agriculture, 3 industrial zones respectively, unfortunately without any considerable touristic work activity. Noteworthy, Bani Suef in the pharaonic era was the capital of the entire country Egypt. At the time of both 9 and 10 dynasties, where the capital was in Asia or Hierapolis. 2. The Pyramid of Midam. The first king of the 4th dynasty, Sneferu c. 26,132,589 BC, chose Midam as the site of his royal tomb. What we see today bears little resemblance to the original monument, which was a step pyramid that was then transformed into a true pyramid with smooth sides. For this and several other reasons, Sneferu's reign was a pivotal point of the Old Kingdom, and the site of Midam is an integral part, representing the developments in pyramid building know-how, technology, and techniques that would then lead to the building of some of Egypt's most famous monuments. At Midam, Sneferu began building a 7-step pyramid that would have been 65 meters high. This was then enlarged, possibly before completion, into an 8-step pyramid. These two phases are called E1 and E2 by Egyptologists. In a completed state, the E2 pyramid would have been 85 meters high with a base length of 120.75 meters. It was at this point that Sneferu built the massive bent and red pyramids at Dahshur. He then transformed the 8-step E2 pyramid into a true pyramid E3, which stood between 92 and 95 meters high, with a base length of 144 meters. Today, the pyramid has the appearance of a 3-step structure emerging out of a massive mound of rubble and debris surrounding it. This tower is, in fact, most of the core of the pyramid. It was previously hypothesized that the rubble was the result of a sudden and catastrophic collapse that took place during the E3 construction phase. However, the debris consists of layers strata demonstrating that the erosion and destruction of the pyramid was, in fact, gradual. According to earlier scholarship, the Midam pyramid was constructed by Sneferu's predecessor, the last king of the 3rd dynasty, Huni c. 26,372,613 BC. This is no longer the consensus. Sneferu's name appears in texts in Midam, and the ancient name of this site was Jed Sneferu. Sneferu endures. During the reign of Thutmose III c. 14,791,425 BC in the 18th dynasty, the scribe Enkhkhepperson visited Midam and wrote an inscription, saying that he had come to see the marvelous temple of Horus Sneferu. He saw it, as if heaven were in it, and in it the sun rose. The interior of the pyramid. The entrance into the pyramid is in its north face, as was the standard, but it is unusually around 15 meters above the ground. A descending passage goes from the masonry of the pyramid down into the bedrock, turning into a horizontal corridor. Going past 2 niches, this leads to a vertical shaft that goes up to the burial chamber. Its corbelled ceiling distributed the tremendous weight of the masonry above, preventing it crushing the open spaces within the pyramid. It is for this same reason that the ancient Egyptians built corbelled weight-relieving spaces just above the 2 niches and the lower part of the descending passage. These were only discovered in 1998. It is here in Midam that corbelling for a stone ceiling appears for the first time, a technique that would later be used to outstanding effect in the Grand Gallery and the burial chamber in Khufu's 10th Great Pyramid. 3. Heracleopolis. Heracleopolis, Magna Greek, Megal Heracles Plis and Heracleopolis, Heracleopolis and Heracleopolis. 1. Is the Roman name of the capital of the 20th nome of ancient Upper Egypt, known in ancient Egyptian as En-Nuzd. The site is located approximately 15 kilometers 9.3 mi west of the modern city of Beni Suef, in the Beni Suef Governorate of Egypt. In ancient Egypt, Heracleopolis Magna was called En-Nuzd, meaning child of the king, appearing as Aanen-Nuzd or Hut-En-Nuzd. Also transcribed Henin-Nusut or Hut-Nen-Nusut. This later developed into Coptic, or Hnes, which was borrowed into early Egyptian Arabic, Ans. The site is now known as Inisea al-Kimam Inisea, mother of the shards, and as Inisea al-Madina, the city of Inisea. The Greek name meant city of Heracles, with the epithet great being added to distinguish it from other towns with that name. The Greek form became more common during the Ptolemaic kingdom, which came to power after the death of Alexander the Great. The Roman Empire used the Latinized form of the Greek name. Some Egyptologists and biblical scholars connect the biblical city of Haynes Hebrew, Ens mentioned in Isaiah 30-4 with Heracleopolis Magna. 4. Beni Suef Museum. In 1973, a sarcophagus made of gray granite and weighing 12 tons with a lid was discovered. It belongs to Baqa'des. It dates back to the Roman era and is unparalleled in all parts of Egypt. In terms of historical and religious importance, and antiquities dating back to the era were also found. During the excavations that took place in the years 1987 to 1989, the most famous relics discovered were 2 decorated ceramic saddles, which are currently in the Beni Suef Antiquities Museum. Inisea is one of the most important cities in the Beni Suef Governorate, located to the west of the city. It was the capital of Egypt during the 9th and 10th dynasties for more than 2 centuries, from 2242 to 2452 BC. In the city there are the remains of the temple of King Ramses II, and 2 statues of the king made of quartz located in front of the front hall of the temple, followed by a hall of 2 columns with crowns decorated with palm leaves, and another hall of columns leading to the inside of the temple. Among the important Islamic monuments in Beni Suef, the tomb of Marwan ben Muhammad Marwan I, the last ruler of the Umayyad state in the Abu Sur area. There is also the tomb of Prince Ahmed Shedid in the village of Suds al-Amara, the mosque of Sayyida Houria in the city of Beni Suef. Location of Beni Suef Museum, located next to the Governorate building and behind the zoo. The museum is the main tourist attraction in Beni Suef. There is a small but noteworthy collection of antiquities of ancient Egypt to the period of Muhammad Ali with fine Ptolemaic carvings and Coptic tapestries from the 19th century. Then he chose the location of the museum on the agricultural road leading to Upper Egypt, where it was built on an area of 4,860 square meters, and it also contains a museum garden with an area of 21,080 square meters. In addition, the museum has been equipped with modern lighting, display cabinets and available educational aids, which fulfill the museum's mission to serve the community. The museum was opened in 1997. Components of Beni Suef Museum. It consists of 2 floors, and we will get acquainted with the details of the holdings of each floor. The holdings of the upper floor of the Beni Suef Museum. It includes Coptic and Islamic antiquities, as well as some belongings of the Muhammad Ali family, including few windows of the palace appear with delicate geometric and vegetal motifs that are hollow and cursive. These windows contain a manuscript of 29 leaves, written in black ink interspersed with phrases in red ink, as it was a lantern of a glass of the type that was used to light mosques since the Mamluk era. The niche also contains colored enamel decoration and decorative writing in Naskh script. On the upper floor, there is also the double horn of bounties, a statue of a winged sphinx, a statue of a Greek woman, part 11, of a sunken dish, a boy carrying a lamb, a wooden ornament, an earring, a sword and a pouch, a door of wood. The ground floor holdings of the Beni Suef Museum. The ground floor includes antiquities from prehistoric and ancient Egyptian times until the Greco-Roman era. The holdings of the Beni Suef Museum on the ground floor include the following: statue of the ancient Egyptian scribe, sitting cross-legged in a short tunic, holding a papyrus with his left hand. An offering table, and it was rectangular in shape with 3 basins. 2 of the basins were rectangular, with another square in the middle, below which was a scene representing the deceased sitting in front of the offering table. An imaginary door on which there is a picture of the owner of the tomb, holding a lotus flower in her left hand and sitting in front of the offering table topped with bread. Below this scene is a picture of 2 boys, each one holds a lotus flower. And on the door is a strip of hieroglyphic writing that ends with a view of the 2 daughters of the cemetery's owner. A model of a man preparing food, and represents a man who is kneading, sitting cross-legged, resting on a base, and in front of him there is a bowl that he holds with his left hand and the right hand is engaged in kneading. Statue of the god Thothi, where the statue appears in the form of a baboon. Statue of the god Ta standing, wearing a long cloak and a false chin, holding the sign of life. A statue of the Apis calf in one of its distinctive positions, made of cast bronze, showing the skill of the Egyptian artist since ancient times in bending and forming metals. This is according to fixed standards and ratios throughout antiquity. Wooden coffin. The amulet of the god Hermaphrodite, which is an amulet with remnants of colors in the form of the god Hermaphrodite, standing wearing the royal apron Shendit and the royal headdress Nems, which is the main deity in Asia and was usually depicted in the form of a human with a ram's head. The ground floor of the Beni Suef Museum also houses artifacts related to the history of the area, as it was an important agricultural center known for producing textiles. There are artifacts from nearby ancient Egyptian sites such as Abu Sur and Heracleopolis Magna in Nicaea al-Medina on the ground floor. The Beni Suef National Archaeology Museum also displays a limestone panel of a person named Thini and his wife making offerings, on which are inscriptions in vertical lines in the ancient Egyptian language, dating back to the era of the Old Kingdom and found in Saqqara, the most important collections of the Beni Suef Museum throughout historical times. The museum was designed in the form of a Midim pyramid, and it includes a group of the most beautiful antiquities, dating back to the ancient Egyptian, Greek, Coptic, Islamic and modern eras. They are stone, bronze and pottery statues, utensils of different shapes and materials, stones and various necklaces, coffins, paintings, silver and gold coins, in addition to fabrics that represent ancient Egyptian history. In the museum, there is a collection of statues of the kings, gods and individuals of ancient Egypt, funerary paintings, human coffins, entrails, i.e., canopic utensils and amulets. From the Greek and Roman periods, there is a group of statues of individuals, deities, and funerary paintings. Among the Coptic antiquities, there are some icons, metal and wooden tools, and models of Coptic textiles. Among the Islamic antiquities, there are niches, wooden doors, and manuscripts. And among the holdings of the Muhammad Ali family, there are various types of tiles, porcelain, weapons, and clothing are displayed.